Friends, in my last class, we had learnt about the part 2 of the basic invoice verification, which was on document parking. Now we will move to the part 3 of the basic invoice verification, which is on taxes, cash discounts, and foreign currency. I had divided this part 3 into 4 sections. In the section A, in the first part, we will learn about the overview of the taxes in sales and purchase, entering tax data, then cash discounts, terms of payment, posting gross and net, account moments when posting gross, account moments when posting net, and invoices in a foreign currency. This is we will learn about the overview of taxes, cash discounts, and foreign currency. Then in the next part in the section B, we will do an exercise on taxes, how to enter the taxes and post invoice. Then in the section C, we will do an exercise on cash discounts, posting invoice with net invoice receipt. And in section D, we will do an exercise on post invoice in a foreign currency. So we will take up this now section A. So first, taxes. What is a tax? The value added to the goods results from the difference between the purchase price and the sales price. As an example of the value added tax, more commonly referred to in the USA as sales tax, it is the amount the government adds to the sales price of the material. Okay, so sales tax is the amount which we are adding to a material when we are selling this material. Okay, next, sales tax. For example, here the sales tax from sales is the tax that is invoiced to the customer at all production and trade levels. This represents a tax debit to the tax authorities. For example, when we are selling any material to a customer, right? So we have to add some tax to the material which we are selling, which is called the sales tax. And here this is a vendor, right? And when we are buying anything from any vendor or any source, okay, then the vendor will charge some input tax to us. Okay, that is called the input tax, or it is the tax that is invoiced by a vendor, input tax. Each company only needs to pay the sales tax to the tax authorities. So we have to pay only the sales tax to the tax authorities. Okay, and the input tax, that is we have already paid to the vendor from whom we are procuring materials. Okay, next, entering tax data. How we are entering the tax data in the invoice. A tax code must be defined for each tax rate in customizing for financial accounting. This tax code defines how the system calculates the tax and how the system is to post the tax. We enter the tax rates and tax amounts specified in the invoice in the header screen area when we enter the invoice. If the vendor invoice only contains one tax rate, we can maintain the tax data on the basic data tab page. If the vendor invoice contains more than one tax rate, we enter the tax data in the tax tab page. If the tax amounts are not specified in the invoice, we can select calculate tax. The system then calculates the tax amounts automatically. Say I will show you this one in the system. Okay, so tax amounts in the invoice in the header screen area when we enter the invoice. For example, here, if I go to SAP screen here, I will go to my row here. For example, I will put today's date and let us see some purchase order. For example, here some purchase order is here. So here, see here, this is the header data in the basic data page. We can see the tax here, that is tax code here, which system will suggest. So this is by default system is suggesting, right? This the tax code which the system suggests by default depends on the tax code which we are assigning to the company code here in configuration. I will show you this one. If I go to the IMG, enter incoming invoice, see here. Okay, in the material management, logistic invoice verification, incoming invoice, here maintain default values for tax codes here. If I go here, this is my company code 1111. If I select this one and go for details here, G2, okay, this is some input tax which is already set for the company code 1111. So whenever I try to post invoice for this company code 1111, system will suggest this as the default tax code here, right? G2. It will come automatically. Okay. Next, if the vendor invoice only contains one tax code, we can maintain the tax data on the basic data tab page. But if the vendor invoice contains more than one tax rate, we enter the tax data on the tax tab page. Okay, if the vendor invoice contains more than one tax rate, we can go to the tax tab page, and here we can add the other tax codes here, right? Anything we can add. Okay, we can add. If you have set them, okay, then we can add those tax codes here. Okay, additional tax codes. If the tax amounts are not specified in the invoice, we select calculate tax. The system then calculates the tax amount automatically. For example, here, right? So here I will scroll to the right here. I will go to the basic data tab page here. So here, if I click calculate tax, system will automatically. This is 400, right? For 400, this is some 14% input tax. 14% of 400 is 56. Okay, automatically calculate tax. And the total of the invoice amount is material cost plus tax amount, 400 plus 56, which is 456. We can see in the balance. Okay, if I make it as 456 and enter, the balance will become 0, and I can simulate and post the invoice. Okay, that is done. Each tax relevant item is allocated a tax code. The item tax codes are displayed in the item list and can be changed there if necessary. The system reads this for each item from the purchase order. If the system cannot determine a tax code for an item, the system uses the tax code from the header data in the transaction row. If the tax code is changed later in the header, the tax codes are not updated at item level. For example, here, see normally what happens, this tax code, right? If I scroll to the right, I can see the tax code here, G2. This is coming from the purchase order, right? This is purchase order. Okay, if we double click on the here, it will go to the PO. Okay, it has gone to the purchase order. And if you go to the item detail in the invoice tab page, okay, this is already there. This has been assigned to the in the purchase order at item level. Hence, it is coming automatically in the my row when you are posting invoice. I will go back to my row. Yeah. So that's how the tax code will come to invoice automatically from the purchase order. If the tax code is changed later in the header, the tax codes are not updated at item level. For example, here, if I am changing tax code here, for example, from G2 to G3, okay, they will not be updated at the item level here. They will not be updated. Okay, that's what this is standard system. If there are multiple items in invoice, the system calculates the tax base for each tax code from the amounts and tax codes for the individual items in the invoice. The system verifies the tax data when we simulate or post an invoice. This means, okay, if there can be multiple items in the invoice. Okay, that depends on the number of items in the PO. But here in this PO, there is only one item. Hence, there is only one line item here in the invoice. If there are multiple items in the PO, we can find the multiple items here in the invoice. So for each item, okay, the tax code may be different. So based on the tax codes for every item in the invoice, the system will calculate the total tax amount and the total net amount. We can enter and simulate and post the invoice. For example, here, if I simulate this one, we can see this is the vendor amount. This is the material amount. Okay, if I simulate, okay, one second. Okay, because I have changed the tax code, so here I have to make it as a G2. Okay, now I will simulate. Yeah, now it is coming, right? Input tax. This is 56. Okay, so this is, we can see it in the simulation. Okay, so that is about the taxes. Okay, so next, cash discounts. What are the cash discounts? It is the terms of payment. Okay, what are the, first we should know what are the terms of payment. What is the terms of payment? The terms of payment contain the terms we have agreed with the vendor for the materials and services procured from them. Terms of payment can have three levels. For example, if we pay within 10 days, there is a 3% discount. Here I have shown. Within 20 days, 2% discount, and within 30 days, we pay the net price. That means here, if we pay the amount to the vendor within 10 days of getting the material, then he will give 3% discount. Okay. If we pay within 20 days, he will give 2% discount on the invoice price. And if we pay from 20 to 30 days, he will no discount, only net. Okay, these are the terms of payment. So here the terms of payment are defined in customizing for financial accounting. Okay, the FI people are going to define the terms of payment. This is not under the scope of when the invoice is entered, the terms of payment are proposed from the purchase order on the basic data tab page in the invoice header. The system displays the terms of payment copied from the purchase order. We can change them on the payment tab page. For example, here, right? Here in the details page, if we go to the details tab page here, no, yeah, here in the payment tab page, we can see the terms of payment here. This is coming from the purchase order. Okay, so I can go to the purchase order and show this one. So if we go to SAP, okay, we can even see this one here itself. If I go to this purchase order directly here from the invoice, if I go to the header, I can see here, right, in the deliverer invoice, I can see the terms of payment. So the terms of payment in the invoice are coming from the or copied from the purchase order here. Okay, from to the purchase order, they are coming from the vendor master record. Okay, vendor master record. Okay, next. Okay. We can also change the terms of payment in the that is when we are posting the invoice. For example, here, of course, they are coming from the PO, but still, if you want to change the terms of payment, okay, after discussion with the vendor, we can again change them here. Okay, for example, here now 0002. If you want to make it as 0003 or some other, lot of terms of payment are available. I can change it, but only after discussion with the vendor and the vendor agrees. Okay, that is about the terms of payment. Okay, if the terms of payment are not copied from the PO, we can enter the terms of payment or a fixed cash discount amount when posting invoice in Miro. Okay, that is also option is there. So if terms of payment are not agreed with the vendor, right, at the time of creation of PO, then later, okay, that is after discussion with the vendor, I can we enter a new terms of payment or we can directly enter some discount amount here. Okay, here directly, but it should be agreed with the vendor. Okay, then posting gross and net. Okay, what is this posting gross and net? There are two ways of posting the cash discount amount, which is first is the gross posting, second is the net posting. If we post the gross amount of an invoice, the system ignores the cash discount amount when we enter the invoice. But when we make the payment to the vendor, the system posts the cash discount amount to a cash discount account. Therefore, the cash discount amount is not credited to the stock or cost account. Okay, this is about the gross. Gross means without taking into account the cash discount amount. Net. If you post the net amount of an invoice, the system posts the cash discount amount to the stock or cost account. This means the system only posts the amount reduced by the cash discount amount to the stock account or cost account. Okay, whether an invoice is posted gross or net depends on the document type. So, okay, here in the customizing here in the valuation and account assignment, we can set the document type. So based on the document type, okay, system will post gross or net automatically. Okay, for example, here I will show you this one. If we go to the material management, valuation and account assignment, define document type and number range for price change. If I go here document type. Okay, so you can financial accounting document types. If we go here, if we scroll down, RE. So RE is the gross invoice receipt and REN is the net invoice receipt. These are the two document type for invoice posting. Okay, I will go back here. Okay, I will go to document type. Here in the document type, if you go to Myro, enter incoming invoice transaction code. If we go to details here, okay, the document type set in customizing in the standard SAP is RE, which is gross invoice posting. Okay, so now what happens whenever I post invoice, right? So what happens if I go to the details tab page here, the system will automatically suggest gross invoice receipt. Okay, why? This is coming from the customizing. Okay, so automatically. Okay, it depends on the document type set in the this one transaction, this one for the transaction. Okay, for each document type, we indicate whether posting should be made gross or net. We also set the type of document that the system suggests when an invoice is entered. Okay, this is set as RE, document type RE, which is gross invoice receipt for Myro. We can change the document type during invoice entry and the detail tab page. But still, okay, even though the system suggests gross invoice receipt, for example, okay, if we want to post net invoice receipt, we can change here. Okay, this option is available. Okay, that depends on the requirement. Okay, system will by default suggest gross, but if you want to post net invoice, that we can change here. Okay, RN and post. That is also option is available. Okay. Next, account movements during gross posting and net posting. Okay, so we already know the system ignores the cash discount amount when gross posting the invoice. Okay, so the cash discount amount is posted at the time of payment. Okay, the cash discount amount for the net invoice value is posted as a non-operating result. So, for example, here, if I go here, now this is gross posting, right? If I simulate this one here, okay, so this is the input tax. Okay, so now what is going to happen? So when I post the invoice, right, this only that is the gross, that is the discount is not taken into account at the time of invoice, but only that is when we make the payment to the vendor, at that time this discount, okay, discount will be updated in as a non-operating result account, separate GL account. Okay, but that is done only when the FI department makes the payment to the vendor. Okay, when we post invoice, we will not be able to see any updating of the discount in the simulation. When the invoice is posted as gross, the system does not take account of the cash discount for the tax amount, but when the payment is made, the input tax posting is automatically corrected and the cash discount for the tax amount is credited to the input tax account. Okay, even see this one, when we simulate the invoice, right, this is the input tax of 10 rupees or something is coming here. Now system should consider discount for this 10 rupees also, which is for example here some 10%, okay, which is 0.50 rupees. So but this will be taken into account only when we do the FI payment, okay, when we make payment to the vendor. Okay, that is about the gross posting. Okay, so we can see here, okay, this is about the gross posting. Okay, for example, the purchase order is 5 pieces at 20 euro per piece. GR for the PO 5 pieces. Invoice 5 pieces at 20 per piece is 100 euro. 10% tax 10 euro. Okay, so here to vendor account 110 will go. That is the material price plus the tax 110. GR air clearing account 100 will go. Input tax 10 euro. Okay, but when we make the payment to the vendor at that time, this 5% will be considered. 5% of 110, which is 5.50. Okay, that means this we are going to pay 104.50 euro only to the vendor. Okay, and the 5 euro, which is the discount. Okay, how much, which is the discount coming from the which is coming from the discount, will go to the non-operating result when we are making payment to the vendor. Okay, so that is about the gross posting. Now this is the net posting. So in the net posting, the cash discount amount is already taken into account when the invoice is posted as net. Okay, that means here already we can see the discount in the simulation. Okay, the cash discount amount is posted to a cash discount clearing account. This is cleared at the time of payment. Okay, see for example here, if I back, if I go to the invoice, right, if I post net invoice receipt, okay, next, then if I simulate, see here, this cash discount, right, which is 12, okay, this which is 12 rupees, this will go to the cash discount clearing account. It will be updated when we simulate the invoice. Okay, it will go to separate to some separate account. Okay, okay, the cash discount amount is posted to a cash discount clearing account. This is cleared at the time of payment. So at the time of posting invoice, that time only, okay, this cash discount amount will be updated to a separate clearing account. Okay, and this will be cleared at the time of payment when we make payment to the vendor. The offsetting posted to the cash discount clearing account is dependent on the price control of the material. Okay, again it depends on the price control. How? If the material is managed with a standard price, the cash discount is credited to the price difference account. Okay, if the material is managed with a moving average price, the cash discount is credited to the stock account. If there is no stock coverage, it posts the cash discount amount to the price difference account. Okay, so that is how the cash discount is managed for standard price and moving average price. Okay, for standard price, the cash discount amount will go to the price difference account. Okay, for moving average price, cash discount amount will go to the stock account, but if there is no stock coverage, it will go to the price difference account. Okay, when the invoice is posted, the system does not take account of the cash discount for the tax amount, but when the payment is made, the input tax posting is automatically corrected and the cash discount for the tax amount is credited to the input tax account. See, whether you post invoice gross or not, that is the cash discount amount for the tax, that is the tax amount. Here 10 euro, for example, here for 10 euro, how much? That is 10% of 10 euro. Okay, that will be here clearing account. So 10% of that is here, 10% of the tax is 110. So let's, here it is 5%, 5% discount. 5% discount means that is for 110 it is 5.50, 5.50. So 5.50, 5 euro for the material and 0.5 euro for the tax amount. What is the tax amount? Tax amount is 10 euro. So 5% of 10 euro will be equal to 0.5 euro. So this will be credited, cleared at the time of payment. That means the here what he meant to say is, when the invoice is posted, the system does not take account of the cash discount for the tax amount. So see, when we are posting the invoice, so the discount for the here for the tax, which is 10 euro, will not be updated anywhere here. See, we cannot see here anything, but only, okay, but when the payment is made, the input tax posting is automatically corrected and the cash discount for the tax amount is credited to the input tax account. Okay, when we are making the payment, then the system, what it will do, it will make correction for the tax amount. And here, for example, for the input tax of 10 euro, okay, what it will do, that is 5% discount rate, 5% of 10 euro, which is 0.5 euro, will be corrected, okay, when we make the payment to the vendor. Okay, that is how the system will update the cash discount amount for the tax amount. Okay, invoices in a foreign currency. This is the next part of the overview. So here, if we enter any invoice in a foreign currency, the following settings must have been made in the system. What are the settings? We must have defined the currency we are using to enter the invoice. We must have configured an exchange rate for the given currency and the local currency. In customizing, we can define different exchange rates for different time periods. Okay, For a purchase order in a foreign currency, the buyer can decide whether the rate is fixed or not and set the relevant indicator in the purchase order header on the delivery or invoice tab page. Okay, I will show this one here. Let me go to this, for example, this any purchase order here. So here, let me here. I will show you one purchase order here. Let us go to one PO where some foreign currency is used. I think this is the PO. Yeah, here. See here in the header, right, in the delivery invoice tab page, we can see the currency and the exchange rate. Okay, $1 to, that is he is importing something from America from to India. So here, he has said the exchange rate is fixed here, which is 1 INR is equal to Indian rupees is equal to $1 is equal to 75 Indian rupees, and this exchange rate is fixed here. Okay, so that is he can do it. The buyer can do it. If this rate is fixed, the system uses the exchange rate from the purchase order to convert the foreign currency to the local currency at the goods receipt and an invoice receipt. If the exchange rate is not fixed, the system uses the current exchange rate to convert the foreign currency to the local currency at goods receipt. In invoice verification, the system also suggests the current exchange rate as the exchange factor, but we can change it. Okay, say if the exchange rate is not fixed in the PO, then that is we can use the current exchange rate, okay, which daily changes. Okay, that option is available here. That we can change it. Okay, that we can change when posting the invoice. If the exchange rate is not fixed, the exchange rate differences can occur as a result of using different exchange rates, and these are actually the same as the exchange rate differences are actually the same as the price differences. The way the system posts exchange rate differences depends on the settings that have been made in customizing for material management under logistic invoice verification. Incoming invoice configure how exchange rate differences are treated. Here, if we go to the here, right here, if we go to the IMG here, see for example here, we can see here only. So I will go back here, incoming invoice. Okay, here configure how exchange rate differences are treated. If I go here, this is my company code 1111. Okay, here I can set that one. Here, for example, here ERO settings. For example, here ERO setting means that is the exchange rate difference settings. If I go to details here, blank means exchange rate differences between GR and IR. Any difference between GR and IR, that is standard setting. Then if I go to the next column here, rate type. For example, here, rate type. Okay, I can set for any company code either current exchange rate. Okay, so many are there, so different are there. So these are set in again customizing in finance. So many different type of current exchange rates. So many are there. Okay, average rate. Okay, so many things are there. I can set whichever I want, but I have not set any exchange rate for this one in my company code here. Then currency type. For example, here currency type 10. 10 means company code currency. Okay, that is the exchange rate from the company code currency to the currency of the vendor, currency of the country of the vendor. Okay, this is the setting. Okay, so if I make any settings there, okay, then if there are any exchange rate differences, then so based on the settings here, okay, system will consider the differences. Okay, that option SAP has given. Okay, next. Okay, and one more thing, what we can see, the system uses the current exchange rate to convert the foreign currency, and also we can define different exchange rate for different time periods. Okay, so see, what we can do, if we enter an invoice in a foreign currency, the following settings must have been made in the system. We must have defined the currency we are using to enter the invoice. We must have configure an exchange rate for the given currency and the local currency. In customizing, we can define different exchange rates for different time periods. For example, here I will show that one here. If we go to IMG, so here if we go to SAP NetWeaver, here if I go to general settings, enter exchange rates, general settings, currencies, enter exchange rates. Here if I click here, exchange rates, for example, you can see see from GBP to euro. Okay, Great Britain pound to euro, euro to Dutch mark, okay, GBP to euro, then AUD to US dollar. So many currencies are there here. I can see, right? So many. Okay, so here these are the exchange rates. They are defined in customizing, and they are valid from so and so. Okay, like that. So we can set the exchange rates. So if we set some exchange rates here, then system will consider the exchange rates automatically. Okay. So this is about the overview of taxes, cash discounts, and foreign currencies. So in the next session, we will go to section B where we will do an exercise on taxes, that is entering the taxes and changing the tax codes and posting the invoice. Then we will go to the section C where we will, that is see the how to post invoice considering the discounts. And finally, we will go to the last part where we will post one invoice in the foreign currency, and it is how to display the exchange rates. Okay, the rates in the company code currency, the rate in the that is the currency of the country of the vendor. Okay, and how to post the invoice, simulate and post the invoice. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Please give me your valuable comments, likes, and please subscribe to my channel so that you will get notification of my upcoming videos on several scenarios on MM. Thank you.